Lampi
Welcome
deity.
back to John
Empire
Rosenberg.
deity is the master key of world history.
I'm going to tell the people here. Before I begin, I'd like to thank all of you who have joined my live. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. I thank you guys for really coming on and give you perspective about different topics. Yesterday we had a good live, and the day before yesterday. Shout out to Bull Chief. Shout out to Arawak. Shout out to Indigenous Army. Shout out to Jamula, all you good guys. Sunlight yesterday, she was my co-host. Big shout out to my Haitian sister, Sunlight, and all the ladies that was on the VJ. We had Chime, all the ladies, and I want to have more ladies on the platform to have those dialogues. I always want a female perspective, a woman perspective. So whenever I do those live, it's good for the audience to have both sides discussing this information. Now, back to the subject at hand. Lampi HAYTI, the master key. Why do I say that? I mean every word I said, every syllable. Lampi HAYTI is the master key. Unequivocally, without a shadow of doubt. I know this is news. This is a news break for you guys. A lot of you guys just finding out about this information, and this is why I give some of you guys grace. Except, only person I don't give grace is people that self-centered, who want to argue, who want to tell you that your history go back to Africa. Your history is a slave history. That's the problem I have from most of the people that come to my life. If that's your perspective, don't come to my life. I'm going to block you every single time. So, that being said, when you look at what is a master key is a key that unlocks many doors. That's what they call it. That's what a master key is. It's a key to unlock many doors. So the reason why I use this metaphor, I use this metaphor to explain to you guys the history they have hidden for over 100 years. The Empire of HAYTI. He had a lot to do with the Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. They have a lot to do with those places. But unbeknownst to you, they didn't teach you that in school, right? From high school to middle school, from middle school to high school to college to university to grad school, you have never heard of this information that I'm telling you right now. You have never heard of this information. This is new information to you right now. And this is, I can hardly believe that, some of you do believe that Lampi HAYTI is the master key, is the centerpiece of this whole puzzle. And this is why they have removed this history, and they never taught us about this history. They like to go back to the slave narrative that we have debunked over 1 million times. We have debunked it on YouTube, Facebook, now on TikTok. We have debunked all this false slave narrative. It doesn't add up. We were never slaves. Okay? Our people have never experienced slavery. What we have experienced is a POW, prisoner of war. Because when we were going to war, some of our people were captured. So that's what you can say. We were prisoner of war, POWs. That's the acronym. Prisoner of war. So we have never been slave. Never, ever been slave. So when I use this metaphor, metaphorically use the term master key, because a master key opens different all doors. That's why we call it master key. It's used to open all doors. So Lampi HAYTI is the master key that's going to unlock all those doors to interconnect, to connect all this history. When you talk about the woman, Lampi HAYTI. When you talk about the Greeks, Lampi HAYTI. You talk about the Renaissance. You talk about World War I, World War II. What was this war about? It had to do with Lampi HAYTI. The Cold War, all that stuff. Okay, the invasion of the Republic. Lampi HAYTI. So every history they have taught you in school, if you start dissect them one by one, precept upon precept, you're gonna realize that they're talking about Lampi HAYTI. They're talking about the Empire of HAYTI. That's what they're talking about. Sometimes they might use different code words to throw you off, but if you follow the lingo, if you connect the dots, you're going to see that everything really go back to Lampi HAYTI. It goes back to the empire of Haiti. This is why we must talk about this information, because most people in the States, in Europe, in Africa, and Asia, they're not aware, except the elites. The elites, they're aware of that. But I'm talking about the average Joe. They are not aware of this information. And this is why we have to bring it forth so people can have a better understanding and understanding what's being said, because most of us don't know this information. And once again, let me address one thing before I move forward. I noticed this trend on TikTok, especially in the Haitian community, when pertaining to this history called Lumpy Haiti or Empire Haiti, we have turned it to a competition. Now, I'm going to say that's the elephant in the room. I must call it a spade a spade. You may agree or disagree. That's your prerogative. I'm not here to convince you to agree with me. But I know it's a trend. We must stop this trend, because we're going to confuse a lot of people. We're going to confuse a lot of people, especially the people that's just coming to this knowledge. If I say one thing and Voodoo Chief said one thing, this person said another thing, it's going to cause confusion for the people. They're not going to learn nothing. Okay? So we got to stop this this competition. We have to stay on course, which is Lumpy IT. Now, when we talk about the war, which I'm going to talk about too, that the war had to do with Lumpy IT. Okay? The whole war was about Lumpy IT. I talked about that in my live yesterday and the day before yesterday. We discussed that. We said the war was really about IT. They was getting rid of the empire throughout Europe and throughout the world, pretty much, if you ask me. But this is why we do those live to really educate people. I'm not doing it for likes and clicks. Like I told you guys, I'm going to say it again. If I become famous, that's not my main objective, to become famous. If I become famous on TikTok or YouTube, it was destined to be. It's not something that's my main objective. My main objective is to elevate and educate my people. Now, some of our people, they're still rejecting this knowledge. Some of them are receiving it. Some of them just push it away to the side. I understand, because a lot of them did not, people learn certain things at certain times. And you have a time to learn certain things. If you don't learn it, it just pass you by. You get left in the dust. So that's why we have to, it is imperative for us as Haitians to teach this knowledge to our people and to the world, because the world, they all intertwine with our empire. Because when you really study the empire of Haiti, you notice that it all connected to the world history. This is why those parasites and the government and the churches, they have never ever take 1 minute or 1 hour to really dissect this history. They have never take that time, because a lot of them, unfortunately, malheureusement, they have take a blood oath not to discuss this history. Yes, they have take a blood oath not to discuss this history. And this is why I'm doing this video, to really tell you guys what really happened to our people. These people, when they come here, they didn't see no slave, okay? They see royalty, okay? When they talk about Tainos, and you guys, Dominicans, or a lot of Hispanics, they be in Haitian too, they'll say, oh, this Tainos is a tribe. No, it's not a tribe. It's a description which translates to nobility, the noble ones. When they say Tainos or Taino, they're describing something to you. They're telling you that people were noble people. Okay, they came from a royal bloodline, the blue bloods. So it's not that it's not a tribe, it's not a freaking language. And I cringe when you guys keep saying the same bull caca. We tell you it's not a language, it's not a tribe. So you gotta stop saying that stuff. You sound like an idiot. Stop saying it. Taínos is not a tribe. It's a description. That's what it is, a description. They're describing a people to you, which is the nobility, the noble people. So back to the subject at hand, the master key, Lumpy IT, the master key. Because for far too long, our people have been misinformed on all levels. I mean, all levels. We have been misinformed, including myself. Because I was in the dark just like you guys were in the dark for many decades. So when I come to this knowledge, it just rejuvenates me. It gives me some boost I was already walking my head up high already. I never accept this slave narrative as a young child. I never accepted. But many of you guys accept this narrative, but I always push back against it. I never say, "Oh yeah, that's true. My people came from Africa." It didn't make no sense to me. Ever since I've been listening to this history, it didn't register in my spirit. It didn't register. So I always have a pushback. I was like, no, this story don't make sense at all. So when we talk about lumpy HAYTI have to do with world history. World history, the ones are the same. When you talk about world history, the Roman, the Greeks, the Persian, all of them, the Moabites, all of those people, the Vikings came out of Europe. All that intertwined with lumpy HAYTI. The indigenous army. Also, that's another army that I did a podcast on that a few days ago, where we discussed the indigenous army. So all that is part of the history that they have removed from our textbooks. Just like they did with the Bible. There's a lot of the books they removed from the Bible. Because those books, they reveal a lot of truth. Because of that, they removed them. The Vatican Church removed them. So they put them in the Apocrypha, or they put them in the other Bibles and other sacred books. But this is why they have removed them. But when you look at Haiti right now, yes, Haiti, it looks disgusting. It looks unstable. The people are zombified, spiritually, mentally zombified. You have bad leadership, because this is the accountability I'm talking about. We have to take accountability for our mistakes. Yeah, the oligarchs out there, they controlling all the finance over there on the island, but we have a lot of bad leadership on the island too. We must call them out. And this is why our people are in this predicament that they're in right now. So I know things are going to get better for us. Like they say in the Bible, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So right now we're at the bottom of the bottom. So it's our time to rise up. It's our time to reclaim our destiny, our birthright, our lineage. So this is my message to you guys. Lumpy HAYTI, unequivocally, without a shadow of doubt, is the master key. Take that. Boom.